Hello book nerds, it's Emmy Walker here to do another book review. Today's book review is going to be Uprooted by Naomi Novik, and I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. This is probably one of my favorite reads of this year so far, and I'm very excited to talk to you about it today. This is going to be spoiler free, so don't feel like you have to turn away, but if you don't want even the plot ruined, go ahead and leave. I know sometimes I mean that's the way I prefer to read a book, is to not know as much as possible about a book, so feel free to turn away, but if you could, just enjoy the book, because I loved it and I hope you enjoy it too. Anyway, so Uprooted is a fantasy novel focused on our main character Agnieszka. Thankfully, the author was kind enough to pronounce that in the back of her book for us, spell it phonetically, so we could actually have that pronunciation right in our heads throughout the book. I guess that is if you read the acknowledgements first, not last. I just happened to do that first this time around. But anyway, so Agnieszka is the daughter of a simple woodcutter, and they live on the edge of the wood. Now, the wood is the aptly named forest, which is saturated in evil and is intent upon spreading its evil, throughout the entire lands. The dragon, he's actually just a person, he's a wizard actually. He's stationed nearby in his tower, and he is responsible for holding the wood's corruption back. His compensation for doing this is that every 10 years he takes a woman from the surrounding villages and he keeps her in his tower for 10 years as, his servant of a sort. And typically what happens is that the girl, when she is freed from her service, she then comes back, but she doesn't stay very long and she leaves. She's become more worldly. So as the book starts out, the next choosing is about to begin, and everyone believes they know who will be chosen because in the past the dragon's always chosen the most beautiful, the most talented girls. But when he chooses somebody different than they expected, everyone is stunned. So apparently this story is based off of fairy tales, and I actually didn't even realize this until I was about halfway through and it was pointed out to me, and I felt like a huge dolt afterward because it's very obvious that it has fairy tale backing behind it. So it was I felt like an idiot. But either way, it was really enjoyable, and it was, as I said before, it was a 5-star, and it was the first 5-star review I've given in a long time. It feels like maybe just a couple of months, but still, it feels like the first in a while. So Agnieszka is our main character, as I said before, and she's ballsy and she's not afraid to get dirty, which is a good thing because she seems to attract, dirt and holy clothing. She's also very passionate about those for whom she cares and willing to do just about anything to protect them, which I love about her. She's a very strong female character. She's not really wishy-washy. I don't feel like she's like all of the other characters. I don't know if this is technically considered young adult. It feels like it'd be more on the cusp of just adult fantasy, especially considering a scene that happens towards the end of the book, but she's not like every other female character we read about, and I really enjoy that. So the dragon, or Sarkan, I'm not really sure how to say his actual name, but we'll call him the dragon because it's easier and I can say it. But anyway, he is the perfect blend of a-hole and someone you respect. Plus, he's someone who you want to respect you back. If that makes any sense. Like you can tell, like if you were in his situation or in this book, you just want him to respect you back. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to explain, but anyway. But he could have very easily been the most hated character, but he just wasn't. And I think this had mainly to do with his reactions to Agnieszka. She would laugh at him or talk back to him, and he clearly is not used to that kind of behavior, and I love the way that they interacted together. It made him seem less of a robot, and I think that's why he was a character I didn't necessarily hate, but you so easily could have. Also, the wood is the perfect kind of villain. I mean, how do you fight an entire forest? And the evil can just sneak up on you, and before you know it, the entire village is infected with the wood. Everyone's corrupt. Somebody comes back from the wood or has been nearby the wood, and he's corrupt, and you don't even know it until he's infected other people. So there's also the intrigue of how the wood came to be. So even if there is everything else that sucked about this book, I would have kept going simply to find out the wood's origin. So the magic system is pretty standard. I mean, you say some words in different language and watch the pretty magic happen, but Agnieszka's arrival kind of throws this system into question. I don't want to say too much on the point without spoiling, but I really enjoyed that magic wasn't just this hard, fast, set of rules that the other wizards had come to live by. My only issue with this book, and it didn't rate high enough to demote it to any type of half star or whatever, was that how Agnieszka's inner monologue would sometimes be answered aloud by other wizards. I only noticed it when it was the wizards, so it made me think that they could read her mind. Like, she wouldn't say, you know, go through her inner monologue and be like, and then I asked him out loud, and he answered whatever. I mean, obviously that was really stiff, but still, like, something like that. So it made me think that they could hear what she was thinking. So, but it was never touched upon. So I was never 100% sure. So it would throw me off when things like that happen. But again, it was such a minor issue that it didn't warrant a star drop. So yeah, I would highly recommend Uprooted by Naomi Novik, and I'm actually really looking forward to getting into some of her others. I bought a bunch of the Dragon series. I can't remember the exact, the Dragons of Tempyre? I can't remember how to say it. I bought them a while ago. I never even read her, but they just sounded like a cool story. But of course I read this one first, and now I need to get into some of her other books because she seems like the kind of author I could really love. So let me know down below if you also read this book and liked it or hated it or whatever your thoughts happen to be. I'd love to hear back from you guys. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Alright, see you later, book nerds!